All right, and it is live. Welcome, people. Again, I haven't done this in a long time to another
Yeah.
interview. This is body odor. I don't remember the number, but I want to welcome someone named Sam. She wanted to do an interview, and we finally got around to doing it within the weekend. How are you doing?
Good, pretty much.
Well, within typical interviews, I ask where you're from and how old are you?
Michigan, 24.
And how did this all start for you? What's your first experience?
When I was 19, going on 20, I was in college. I was in a classroom, and it was like someone sitting in front of me, and like they kept turning around, like saying that it smelled bad. Um, but I didn't think that it was me. Um, Pretty much.
So you were in college at the time, and someone may mention that something smells bad, but you obviously ignored it because throughout most of your life you never smelled bad.
Yeah. They had said something like it was like really ghetto. Like I don't know.
What? So they said something about the odor, and yeah, you just ignored it. Um, but I
Yeah, I
guess
pretty much ignored it, but like I didn't react to it. I just um like I knew what was going on. I'm like, is it me or whatever? Because I knew like at home, like I would always be smelling like this sulfur smell. But where I lived, it was like this truck company, and like I don't know, it just smelled like sulfur. So I thought it was like my neighborhood or whatever. But like everywhere I went, I would smell it like riding my bike, um, like in the wind, or like come back on me, and I'm like, this can't be everywhere I go. And then like um, eating like meat products or like cow's milk, um, it would be like a fecal smell that I would be smelling everywhere, like everywhere I went.
so you were saying that okay, at first you felt like it was weird that someone made mention of it because you didn't associate it to yourself, but when you started um, going outside or just doing whatever, you noticed that this sulfur smell was always around you, and you were
Mhm.
saying that it changed from a meat smell to also like a curdled milk smell as well.
No, like fecal.
Fecal.
When I eat meat and cow's milk,
Hmm.
that's the only time like I would have a smell. Sorry, my mask is falling.
No problem. Because I do think that at this, well, I don't know if it's different in your area, but like they have a lot of less restrictions on like masks and stuff like that, at least where I'm
Yeah,
at.
yeah, we still wear our masks and everything, even vaccinated people. Um, but I just feel safer because I had COVID actually in November, so you know,
Mm.
so I
So
just been
how did that affect you? That's actually very interesting. So how did that affect you when you
oh,
caught COVID?
actually, well, like I can't smell myself like this like when I said I could smell myself then it was before like um when it first started. But then over time I guess I got used to it. So I couldn't smell anything, only other people could. But when I got COVID and it had went away, like I had lost my taste and smell for like 2 weeks, and when it came back, I could detect it again.
Hmm, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So,
But what you mean, like, how did I feel when I had COVID? Or
can you repeat that?
oh, did you mean like how did I feel when I had COVID?
Well, I was very curious about how people who have this condition, how like it affect if it affected them differently when they had it when they got COVID. Because I never really spoke to someone who actually had COVID and also had this condition, or who caught COVID and had this condition. And did your smell worsen? Did you get worse reactions? Blah, 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 blah. That's what I was actually interested in. But I don't know if
Oh,
you.
um, no, because like usually I always feel weak and stuff because I'm anemic and everything. So when I got COVID, like I was really weak, so I was mainly by myself, so I really don't know. Like I was in the bed the whole time, um, and I wasn't eating anything, so I assumed that it wasn't like any smell or anything because I wasn't eating at all when I had COVID. Only drinking like tea and stuff.
So you just mentioned that you were anemic. When were you ever diagnosed as having anemia?
It's been since like puberty, like ever since starting my menstrual, because that causes it. Because I'm a heavy bleeder, so yeah. So this
Mm,
been like I've been anemic for years.
wow. Uh, I heard like you're supposed to take iron or something like that in order
Yeah.
to help with it. Um,
Um.
so so this started when you were 18 and 19.
No.
Do you-
19 going on 20.
oh, you were 19 going on 20.
Yeah, it was like that fall. My birthday is in the fall, so it was like I was just about to turn 20.
Mm. And do you feel like there were any things that you were doing or something that might have happened that could have triggered that, before you started overhearing people making mention that something smells or whatever?
Um. Well, I had. Well, I don't really know, but I think it's like 3 or 4 things. When I had got my wisdom teeth pulled out, they gave me antibiotics. And at the time, this is when I was very young. I didn't know that with antibiotics, you're supposed to take a probiotic with it because it kills everything. So,
Hmm.
and I wasn't doing that. I was just taking the antibiotics. And also I was on birth control, um, the pill version, and I was on the depot shot. And I feel like that caused a hormonal imbalance.
Hmm.
Um, and well, I don't want to say the other things, but yeah, I feel like those 2 things. I feel like it was a change. Like,
So you also feel that this possibly could be like some type of hormone imbalance that threw you, I don't know, your body out of whack?
yeah, like my metabolism because I had lost like a whole bunch of weight. Like I used to be like knocking on 200 pounds and like
Wow.
well, back then I was like really, I'm still short now, but I was like 4'11", 5 foot. Now I'm 5'4", but like back then,
Okay.
so I was like knocking on 200 pounds, but I had lost all this weight. Now I weigh like 130, but yeah, and so that's how I knew like something messed up my metabolism because I wasn't trying. Like like I always walk a lot and I eat pretty healthy, but it
So
was
you,
just
when you
weird because I just lost a whole bunch of weight out of nowhere.
So when you were 19, you were still like heavy. You were still like around 200 or something like that, or
Oh no, by the time I became like a legal adult, I had lost about 30 pounds. Um, so I probably was like 150, 160, and then I had dropped down to like 115. Like it just came out of nowhere. I just lost a whole bunch of weight.
damn.
Um, After that, because it was like I don't really know the date, but it was like September or something when I had got my wisdom teeth pulled, and I didn't take the antibiotics immediately. Um, but I had got on the depot shot to regulate my period. Um, so I feel like I don't know, it's one of those two. So yeah, and that's when I had like when I had experienced that in class, I had started surfing on the internet, and I went back to my doctor like a couple weeks after, and I brought it up to her, and she didn't believe me. Like kind of saying I'm delusional, like okay, you do not have this. Like, girl, what the fuck is you talking about? Like, I did not like my doctor. Like, I don't know. I can just read people and I can just automatically not like them. What is this fly? Okay, I'm like in this hotel bathroom and it's like this fly flying around. So annoying.
So okay, so 19, we're in college. I wanted to ask you, what were you trying to study to become?
A medical assistant.
Mm. And
And,
so you were in class, and yeah, people made mention of it, and I guess you had like several other classes after that. Were there people making mentioning of an odor even after that class, or was that your last class on that particular day?
well, no, at the time I was only taking like two classes. So like one was on Tuesdays and the other one was on Thursdays.
Okay.
Because I naturally don't like being around people. So I always been kind of an isolated person like my whole life. Um, so and then I was working, like I was working at McDonald's and Walmart. So I just couldn't take all the classes and like doing all that studying and working. So I just only took two classes that semester.
Now, when you were in college, were you still living, I guess, in your parents' place, or were you sharing rent somewhere, or had like a in some
Um,
type of dorm, something like that?
no, I was still living with my parents. Well, my mom.
And so I would say like within, so the first time you heard these comments, obviously you ignored them, but like at what time, like maybe a week later, a month later, did you start noticing, or what like time period after where you start to say, okay, I think these comments are directed toward me, or every time I'm somewhere, people make mention that I smell bad. Um, at what point or what time period would you say after that first time did you start, I guess, mentally checking, or saying that it might have to do with me, or something that has to do with me?
Um, Family. Like they can, like most people they be saying they family can, my family can. And like I would hang out with my sister and she would like always like just bring up out of the blue about showering, brushing your teeth and all of this crap. Like like doing stuff like showing me how she washes up and stuff like as if I don't know how to do it.
Damn. So it was your sister that brought it up, And so your whole family, so you like your mother, you have a mother, a sister. Um,
Yeah, I have brothers, mother, sister, aunts, uncles, cousins, all that. And I used to hang out with my cousins a lot, smoke weed and all that. Um, they would not want to smoke weed with me anymore. Like, stop inviting me. Like, cause all the time they would text me like, "Hey, you want to come over?" You know. And then they stopped doing that. Um,
and
yeah, covering their nose and all that. And then I was I was high, but I was like very aware. Like when I get high, I get really really paranoid. So I had one upstairs when I was at my cousin's house one time, and I was in the bathroom, and I could hear them talking downstairs. I don't know how I heard, but I could just hear. And I heard my cousin's boyfriend say something about it. Um, and I knew I was high, but it's like I'm not dumb. Like I can get high and paranoid, but I know that they did, from prior like experiences been around us.
mm, so for some people, for some people who have this condition, like you mentioned, they say they can't. They try to go to their family, and their family says they don't smell anything. But within your situation, your family's just out and open, like, yeah, you smell bad or whatever. Um,
Well, not my cousins or aunts or anything like that. Like do shit like shady, like to give me hints, but they don't actually say it. But my brother and my sister, they did like directly. Especially my brother, he 18 now. At the time, I don't know how he was, like preteen or something. He like just come out straight face. Like all of my mama kids, and including her, is like that. Like she don't bite her tongue. So
so, like you were just saying, like about your mother, do you feel? So your mother was also mentioned that you smell or you gave off an odor or whatever. Um,
yeah,
so I was gonna ask, like, what I was gonna say was one issue is a lot of people who say that their family members at least don't acknowledge that they smell or say they don't smell is they feel like it's gaslighting. They're like lying to them in their face and stuff and thinking that it will solve their problems. But in your perspective, they're like upfront and like, nah, you smell, or at least will hint that you smell. Have you
yeah,
ever tried to use that as some type of aid to improve your odor? Because if someone's going to just be that upfront and honest, at least they
yeah,
can tell you, okay, you smell bad today. Okay, you smell less bad because of whatever methods you're trying, like, I don't know, diet or doing some whatever. Like, did you ever try to use that to improve or lessen your smell, or did you just like take it as a fence and just um, naturally just stayed away from them because of it?
Oh no. When like it's something pertaining to my smell, because it's kind of like build down your confidence. Um, I took it like seriously, and like I was drinking more water. I switched my diet up. Um, I bought like different antiperspirants, like the spray. Um, because also this is a time like, well, still now, like when all these changes start happening to my body, like I start sweating more. Um, so and different soaps, like and then like if it's bar soap, I won't use it more than twice. I'll literally toss it.
Word.
Washing my
Damn.
clothes. Yeah, like yes, like and body wash. I feel like it don't really clean your body. Like I feel like it's just like a moisturizer. Like it don't really remove the dirt to me. I'll use it, but I have to use it with bar soap. Um, wash my clothes, like and actually put the detergent on my clothes, like physically. Um,
So you were
and I
scrubbing your
wash my
shirts. You were physically scrubbing, manually, like scrubbing your shirts and your clothes and stuff like that.
yeah, well my shirts, like the
Hmm.
armpit area, like I will put the detergent scrub it, and then
Oh
put it
yeah,
in the
washing machine.
washer, and then I would put baking soda, vinegar, for my clothes to wash, um, just in case it lingered on my clothes or anything. Like, and then I'm naturally a germaphobe. Like I've been like this my whole life, so I know that it's not a problem. Like I know it's not me being dirty or anything, because I
Right.
always been a germaphobe. So
Well, I wanted to ask you. Okay, so um, once that happened, I never really asked you this prior to in this conversation. Like, did you just stop going to college at a certain point, or did you finish? Because I know you said you're a CNA now. Uh, so, what happened with your time at college? Did you still continue your education, whatever?
yeah, I had finished that semester, and I passed, but I didn't take like any more in person classes anymore. I had started doing virtual. So like right now, I'm actually still doing online classes, to
Hmm.
continue my education. But yeah, I just started doing online.
Hmm. Now that makes sense because I actually did online too. I mean, I only went to college for like 2 years, and after the second year, I was like, "Fuck that shit." So then I decided to go online and get my degree, even though the degree is useless to be honest. But that's another story.
Yeah.
So all right, so yeah, you started doing a lot of stuff to try to stop smelling bad. You start, like you were saying, you would be very meticulous about how you cleaned your clothes, even throwing
Mhm.
out some soaps and stuff for only 2 days, you know?
Yeah, like I will not use, because I feel like bar soap is the only thing that really cleans, like gets the dirt off my body. Um, but also I feel like it lingers on the bar, so I toss it like after 2 days, 2 uses. I mean, so yeah.
So, have you ever like I was sort of trying to hint to this. So, have you ever, when your family were just being, not they weren't necessarily being upfront. They never made like comments or just walked up to you and say you smell bad today or something like that. They would just like hint that you smell bad or say, you know, like when I hear stories, somebody would just buy deodorant for them or buy perfume for them. They'll do stuff like that to you or something like that.
Um, yeah, my cousins and aunts and stuff like that, they would do stuff like that. Or like, I remember this one time we were going out to the movies, me and my cousins, and they were like, um, Sam, you need to get in the shower before we leave. Like, but they told no one else that, just me. Like, and I had already showered that day. Like, I had already showered, and I wasn't like sweating, exercising, or nothing like that. They had picked me up, and I had went over their house, and we were eating, and then before we went to the movies, they only told me that, like, they only told me to get in the shower. She told me to use her shower.
Hmm. So so you were doing all these like activities to try to prevent the odor, but you would still get comments. And
Yeah.
you said you started looking into the internet, um,
Mhm.
and I want to say so. You started at 19 and you're 24 now, so that's 5 years. So at what point within the year or within those years you found out about TMAU?
I found out about it like literally when I was 19 going on 20. But I didn't like know much about it. Like I went on there like on Reconnect and I just browsed a little bit and then after that I stopped. Like I knew about it, but I didn't like read people like post like details. Like I didn't go much into the details. So I didn't know that it was the food like that caused it. I don't know how, but I just didn't know that it was like food that makes it stronger or whatever at that time. Like I started noticing about the food. about um I say 21, because that's when I started starving myself. Like I wouldn't eat. Like if I knew I was gonna be around people, like all I would drink would be water. Yeah,
And that would work or help some when you would just do like fasting or not eat within a day or a couple of days or whatever.
yeah, a little. Like it'll limit. Like it'll still be there, but like I still like get reactions from people, but it won't be like as severe. Cause like
Mm,
usually somebody keeps saying it stank, and they be like loud with it, like letting the whole world know.
yeah.
like when I was like just drinking water, like they like probably just move away from me or something. Um, you know.
Now I want to say this. So there would always be like with this condition. I know a lot of people suffer like digestive issues and stuff. Like I don't know, constipation, diarrhea, um, some other things too. Like sometimes they'll have light coated tongue. Um, at the start of the issue or this odor happening, did you suffer from like things like constipation or diarrhea or had like a white coated tongue or trying to think of other things that people always talk about? Um, yeah, well, let's just talk about those common things.
Yeah. Um, I have a white coated phone. I feel like I do now. Let me see. Yeah. It's a mirror right here. But yeah.
Are you in like a
But
bathroom or something?
yeah, remember I said I'm in a hotel bed now.
Oh, no wonder there's an echo. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Um, yeah, because it's just really hard trying to have privacy. But yeah, never like any constipation or anything. But digestive issues, yeah, like um, my stomach will always be hurting. Like if I eat gluten,
Mm.
um, spicy stuff, or like tomato-based products. Or like if I like ate spaghetti or something, like I would have acid reflux, like it would be coming right back up. Like I'm about
Acid
to throw it
reflux.
when I don't. In 2019, I had went to a gastro doctor and they did an endoscopy and they said like it's like little small holes in my stomach or something like that. I don't remember exactly what he said because it's been a while back.
They said he had a
But
small hole in your stomach.
yeah, like little small holes.
Mm.
Um, and he put me on omeprazole, and that was pretty much it. Cause at that point, like I was tired of going to doctors. Cause I had to keep convincing my doctors to refer me to different. Cause I had went to a dermatologist also. But that was for like my head because like it's like an odor on my scalp also, and I get it like every 3 days. So I have
You
to
get
like
what on your scalp?
like odor. So I have to like
Oh,
co-wash my scalp, well my hair every 3 days. Cause it literally come like every 3 days. It seemed like, and I went to a dermatologist for that. And I just my doctor, I just feel like she was tired of keep giving me referrals, like not listening to me.
so let me ask you this: since we haven't really talked about doctors, usually naturally that's the thing you're going to go to. You have this unexplained thing that's happening to you. So, can you tell me about your experiences with the doctors and um, what did they say the first times you went to them?
Where the first doctor was like when I was this was my regular doctor. Um, when I was 19, 20, um, she was like, "Oh, you don't have this, whatever. There's nothing wrong with you." And she laughed in my face, literally.
So
Um,
you were saying that you had TMAU or something, or you said
yeah,
you just had some odor issue or whatever.
yeah, I showed her the website, but then again, like I wasn't really familiar with it, like I was saying. But I still showed her, and I was telling her about what happened in class, and she laughed in my face literally. And that's when I switched my doctor, because I really didn't like her to begin with. Cause like she would always be in my business, like asking weird questions. I feel like doctors not supposed to ask.
Mm.
um, and the second doctor I went to, um, I told her about it, and she was like, "If you feel that it's rare, um, like, what is it gonna do if you get the test or something like that? Like, what do you mean? Like, I can have proof, like, to show to my employer, so I won't be getting fired for poor hygiene when that's really not the issue at all." Like, she was just not taking it into consideration, and I got tired of her too. Like, cause I had, like, I would go to her like every 3 months. Got tired of her. Switched my PCP again. Um, Told her about it. So there's like three doctors. Um, and I got her the third one in 2019. And she basically said the same thing, but she was like more caring. And she was all like, well, you need to see a therapist. Because I feel like, because I have a history of depression from back. Like, you remember I told you that I was in foster care and stuff. So, like, I had a therapist and all that back then, so they could see my history. So basically, they thought it was just that, and I was delusional. So she was trying to make me get a therapist, like basically saying it was all in my head. Yeah. And then 2021, last year, um, like like 2020, like I kept trying to schedule appointments with my doctor, and she kept making excuses, saying that she wasn't in the office and stuff like that. And they said that I couldn't get another referral unless I went to my PCP. So they just finally gave me someone that's on her team, and I was telling her everything. And this was when I had more information, and I was um
Informed.
more what?
Informed.
Yeah, like I was trying to look for the word, like yeah, and so like more information, like telling her um like showing her the website, showing her messages that I had with other people, um telling her the jobs that I had got fired from because of it. Um,
I do want to ask you this because when you were talking about it, I wanted to ask you this. So you were when you were talking about how you went to the doctors and stuff, and one of the doctors says, okay, even if you did take the test, like what was it going to do? And you were trying to tell her like this will be proof, it will verify that I do have this condition, so people can't fire me when I go on jobs or when I'm at a job. So
yeah,
from I wanted to ask you from like did that actually happen? Did someone, when you were at a job, you got actually fired because you smelled bad, or because someone said, "Oh, you're not taking a bath, or you have poor hygiene, et cetera, et cetera."
yeah. It was when I was working as a custodian, um, and this was like the day shift, so and it was like a school building, so I would be around people. So other coworkers would be complaining to the supervisor and stuff like that. And she warned me like 3 times, and I kept telling her. And then finally, they just let me go. And they said like they don't really have to give you a reason to fire you, but I know that that was the reason. So because like I said, she would bring it up like constantly.
I know you mentioned once like that. What was I gonna say? You were about to fight. You were about to fight someone at some. We were talking about. You were about to fight somebody at a.
Oh yeah.
Store.
When I was working at McDonald's, I was 19. That was my second job. Um, it was just this. She was a, cause I was a crew member. She was a trainer. Like they're still like crew members, but they kind of like on the upper level. But she wasn't a manager. And the manager was telling me, and I was new there at the time, so she was like trying to tell me to do different things that the manager, opposite for what the manager was telling me. And I'm like, I'm not about to get fired from my job trying to do what you telling me to do. I'm gonna do what the manager told me to do. And I feel like they was talking behind my back too, but they never said it directly. Like I never heard. Like I heard them say something about my breast, but like far as body, I never heard it from them because that was like early in the time. And also, I feel like I don't really remember it because I don't know. I'm homeless, so I'll be like under a bit of stress. So I have like brain fog. But yeah, I was about to fight her because of it because we had got in an argument. Because I was like, you don't like tell me what to do. Um, the manager tells me what to do, and I'm gonna do. If I have a job, I'm gonna do it right. I think she was just jealous because like I'm a hard worker, and people get intimidated by that. Like when you get praised from managers and stuff like they be getting jealous.
So I do want to ask you this, in terms of like diets or whatever, how many different diets have you ever tried? I know at the age of 19, 20, I was actually in a school and stuff, and I was like looking at the different diets to possibly try. Like, I remember hearing about the Candida diet, alkaline diet, shit, just becoming vegan. Over the years, what have you tried so far, and has it ever worked?
Um, I would say vegan diet. Sorry, I'm like walking around because my legs started hurting sitting down.
Oh, no
Um,
problem.
I say the vegan diet.
Hmm.
Like I love lettuce, so I eat like a lot of that. Like I just eat it plain like chips. um,
Like chips, that's interesting.
yeah, like I eat a lot of lettuce. Like I still love lettuce. Um, basically vegan cheeses, but that's kind of hard for me now because catching a bus and they only sell it at certain stores.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think. Basically, I don't know. I guess it is just vegan. But I just started back chicken and turkey because I wasn't getting enough protein, and I feel
Mm.
like protein makes me feel like worse. Um, but like chicken and turkey, I feel like it's not as bad. And I will always feel weak, so I just started back eating chicken and turkey. But yeah, I would just like eat lettuce and drink smoothies, like frozen fruit blended up with almond milk, and that's basically all I would eat.
That's all you would eat. So you eat differently now.
I mean, I still eat that now, but I'm saying I just added the turkey and chicken back to my diet because like I will always feel weak. Like
Right.
like 2 weeks ago, I haven't had any turkey or chicken, and I was just standing at the bus stop, and I felt so tired, like I was gonna pass out. And like it's no, at most of the bus stops, there's no benches for you to sit down. Like you really have to stand there and wait for the bus. So
Right.
like I'm like, what do I do? Like still stand here and wait for the bus, or like should I go find somewhere to sit down? Because I'm like so weak and tired.
Yeah. 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 Uh, I do want to ask you this. I mean, there have been people who had success with like fermented, like probiotics, fermented beverages like kefir and kefir kombucha, water kefir. Have you ever tried any type of probiotics? Did you notice? if you did you notice any benefits or you saw less reactions from people, blah, blah, blah?
Um, you know, I eat yogurt. Um, and back at that time, like I was eating like a lot of yogurt, like plain yogurt. But I feel like that was giving me like thrush on my tongue, like it made my breath smell worse. Like don't you know, like when you eat dairy, like I don't know how to
Yes.
really describe it, but like when I was eating yogurt, like plain yogurt, like it would make my tongue feel weird and it would be white, like every time I would eat it. Kefir, I never had the plain kind, but I had blueberry and strawberry before. But I don't know if they helped or not. But those
How
are kind of hard to find, huh?
oh, I was gonna ask you how consistent were you drinking the kefir or kefir or whatever?
Every day. This was like when I was still living with my mom. But since then it's been kind of harder because they only sell it at certain stores. And like when I got my car, I had literally just got it last year that summer. So I only had my car for a couple months. Um, so any other time and now I was always catching a bus. So it would be hard. It's actually hard for me to grocery shop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also like, well, I don't. I mean, I know for well, I'm going to at least speak for me. Sometimes if I don't feel up to it, I always like get Instacart or something to like give me deliver my food or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
so if you never, but at this moment, I don't think you can do that, right? Or could you?
Yeah, I can do it like if I get like an Airbnb or a motel or something. And I did that in the past. Um, Actually last year, like before I was homeless, I was living with at this lady house. She was an Airbnb lady, and she knew about my not the TMAU situation, but she knew about me struggling like with living situations and stuff. And so she owns a couple houses, and she allowed me to move into there. Um, and I was there for myself for a while. Um, and I would get stuff delivered there, like grocery shop on Instacart and stuff. But
Mm,
it would get that would get expensive because
right.
like if you don't tip the drivers, they do stuff to your food or they act like it's not in the store. Or I don't know. Like I just had bad experiences with them a couple times. Like if you don't tip them good enough,
Mm,
so like you like I'll be getting like $15 worth of groceries and I'm spending 50, 40, 50 because the store will be so far away. You gotta pay them for, their labor and their time, like tipping,
yeah.
and then you have delivery fees and all that. So it's just expensive.
Wow, 40, 60 minutes away. That's crazy. So you must be at least the area you live in is shit.
Yeah,
There's
it's kind of
probably.
like secluded.
Hmm.
But like certain foods, like I'm saying, like they only sell it at certain stores. Like
Right.
vegan cheese, like I can't walk into like a off-brand supermarket and buy it. Like I have to go to like Meyer or and things like that. It's like more in like big city areas, so it's like kind of more far out.
Yeah.
Like if I'm craving some cheese and I want to make like um pasta and I can't use regular cheese, it's like hard for me like to find vegan cheeses. And even with that, like some of those vegan cheeses is like cashews, and I know like nuts causes the condition to be worse.
Well, I wanted to say this too. So with this, with if you do have TMAO, which a lot of people, the thing is, a lot of people have tested themselves, believe they had TMAO, tested themselves for TMAO, and it turned out negative. They would get a negative report. Um,
Yeah,
So that naturally makes me think that it could be something else, or maybe the testing that is not that good
Yeah,
at the.
I feel like the testing is not good because um when I had it done, I remember them saying you have to directly like straight after put it on dry ice. Um, and after I took my urine sample, they literally just sat it on like this little cart, and who knows how long it's been sitting there before they actually put it on the ice.
Right.
Um, but I had went off the diet and I had ate. Actually, that actually made my stomach hurt. I ate some red. Well, I didn't eat like go buy a steak or nothing, but I had a couple Slim Jims. I ate ramen noodles because I know that's really bad for me, and I had ate some cereal with cow's milk before I took the test. Like I had did all that before I even took the test. Um, but I feel like I do have it, and it's not anything else because around my time of the month is like so much worse. Like no matter what I do, like and if it was something else, why would it be causing it to be like this worse? Like around my time of the month, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it just don't seem right. Like if it's my time of the month and it's getting worse, it has to be this. Like it can't be anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's the test at this moment is still as accurate as it should be. But yeah. So
And then they're not finding anything else wrong besides the little holes in my stomach. But I feel like that was from the gluten. Um, like maybe I have like sensitivity to gluten, but I stopped eating gluten. So like what else is it? So all my other tests is coming back normal, basically what they say. So the only thing I'm dealing with is the anemia, really.
yeah. And one thing I do want to say is you're in Michigan. And I could have sworn I interviewed somebody who was also in Michigan. Uh, but
Yeah,
even if I
I've been looking
did,
for someone.
huh?
Oh, say again. No, I was
I was
saying
gonna.
I've been looking for someone in Michigan, but I never found anyone.
I wanted to say, even if there wasn't anybody interviewed from Michigan, would you mind if I actually posted a link? So if someone is from Michigan or want to meet up with you or communicate with you, they can.
Mm, yeah.
Cool. And I think we're going to wind down here. Let me
Oh, I
see.
also wanted to say something else.
Okay.
And like when I shower, it's like worse. Like I feel like the steam from the hotness from the shower brings it out, or maybe because I'm washing it off my body. I don't know. If I could get worse, and I have to like open up the window, do all this spraying.
Yeah, I
Because
do.
I actually got kicked out of a couple shelters before also. Like,
Oh,
like they're like, you smell too bad in here.
wow.
Um, and like dating back, this was 2020. Um, when this is actually when I had a suicide attempt. Um, I was in a psychiatric hospital, and they were saying like they were like saying it really smells bad. Even the nurses like they would be talking behind my back and stuff, and they would literally close the bathroom door after I took a shower and stuff. Um, but
So
yeah,
you said you were at a psychiatric center
yeah,
and
like in 2020, because I had a suicide attempt.
they reacted to you and they said it smells so bad. You were hearing comments saying they smell so bad that they made you take a bath or they watched you take a bath to see if you just.
Oh no, they would shut the door like after I would shower, and I would shower last after everyone else. Like
Damn, man.
the bathrooms are supposed to be open because they're watching us because we're on suicide watch. And people go in there and take showers together. But me, I had to take them by myself, and after I was done, they would literally shut the door. Like,
Wow. Yeah, I had
um,
a because so I mean it's interesting because I also went to like some type of psych thing, but I had a different
yeah,
experience. Um, no one like shut the door for me and said it smells so bad. They were trying to convince me that I was fucking crazy. Um,
yeah,
so and it's interesting that like again within the doctors that you visited, many of the doctors you visited, they they would say that you know it's in your head or some shit.
yeah,
But once you went to like the psych, you had a suicide attempt, you went to like the psych ward or whatever, they actually reacted to you full force. And they're
yeah.
like, and they never try to like take care of you, like, oh, let's see what something's wrong with this. Why is she like this?
No. And
Because,
before that, because you know how you're in the hospital before they transfer you
right,
to a psychiatric hospital, there was other patients in there literally complaining about me. And an Air Force recruiter actually reached out to me this year, and he said that I needed documentation from that, like if I wanted to join or whatever. So as I'm looking back on my record, it's saying that I had poor hygiene, and that's not the case because I literally showered that day. Um, and that was the fact. And that night, the ambulance drove me to that psych ward, and they made me take a shower. Then when I got there, and the following morning, a new nurse had came in, and she was all saying that she was spraying the hallways and all that. It was like really bad. And it was these girls that was like in the room next to me. They were in for the same reason as me, I think. Um, and like we gotta leave our doors open so I could hear them. And they were like saying that in like saying that I smell like shit. Like I don't know if they knew that my room was next to theirs and I could literally hear them, but like I could hear everything that they were saying. Like it was so hard. Like I couldn't even cry because I don't like crying around people. Because I had a roommate, so it's like I couldn't even cry. Like I was just sitting there, like so sad, just
damn.
wanted to get out of there. And they were like, "You can't leave yet." And I'm like, "If I smell so bad, then why do y'all still want me in here? Like just release me." But you know they're not gonna do that if you're on suicide watch and stuff. So
Yeah, they were trying to. Yeah, when I went to the psych ward, they were trying to convince me that I had like some form of schizophrenia or something like that.
oh
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
They
I'm
did
just
that for me too, and they put me. They actually like before you can get discharged, you are forced to take the medicine, or else you're gonna have to stay there longer. And they put me on schizophrenic medication because I remember telling I didn't tell the nurses or anyone else there. I just told like I had a psychiatrist, so I would be telling him about it. Like, can you please just release me because I don't want to offend anyone. And basically, he took that as a delusion, and he put me on psychiatric. I mean, schizophrenic medication.
yeah, yeah. They try to give me meds too, and it was weird. It like fucked up my head. It made me feel like I couldn't even have. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like I could only have a pleasure to a certain height, and I would always drool. For some reason, I would have like extra saliva. I would produce extra saliva or some weird stuff like that. I mean, I never really went into it like that, but yeah, um,
And like these that I smoke, like I can't like really smell my breath, but like when I smoke these and exhale, like I can kind of like taste it and smell like a fish smell,
mm,
kind of. So yeah,
okay. Well, I do want to say this, man. I know at least when we had this conversation, it seemed like there would be better news because you seemed like you were about to get like an apartment in the next month, so you have your own
yeah,
place. I mean,
yeah.
are
But
you
I was
still?
saying I
Oh,
was
go
gonna
ahead.
say that was hard. That's why I was saying yesterday. It was gonna be hard even if I was to live in an apartment because the building, like you're like it's a whole building and you're in there with other people, and I feel like they can
Yeah.
hear through the walls and stuff. So that's another reason why I was saying I didn't want to wait till the 14th because it would probably be the same.
Yeah. I mean, I'm living in an apartment right now. So yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you picked up on some sounds or some shit of people, of cars going by. I'm sorry that you heard it, um, but yeah. So I do want to wind down here. I want to say,
Oh, could you say
yeah,
again?
huh? Yeah, I was gonna say
That's kind of like.
that. Oh, I'm cutting off.
Oh no, I
Can
can
you hear
hear
me?
you better now. Hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I'm gonna drop a link or your email if anybody wants to contact you, if they feel that, since you say you're from Michigan, maybe they can meet up with you or talk to you, and maybe they have similar issues that you communicate about. And also, since we're probably going to end it right now, is there any final thoughts or any uh, quick words of wisdom you would like to give to anybody who might be watching this and have something similar to you?
I don't really know. I don't have advice for anyone because like I'm on the verge of like ending it. So because
Damn.
this is like really hard.
Yeah.
Like, cause
Hmm.
you have to go around keep explaining yourself to people. So it's like
Yeah. One of the
I
major,
don't really
I think
know like any advice.
I know you're like sort of like with your camera, it's sort of like the frame rate is dropping a little bit. So I don't know if you can hear me that well. Um,
Oh, I
but
can hear you. Sorry. What kind of like
but
leaning?
yeah, but the frame rate is like at 5 seconds a frame. So I don't know if there's some type of the connection's not that great or whatever. But I just wanted to say, with this condition, it does isolate you, and when you constantly get like negative, like social rejections from everybody, and you don't really have anybody that you feel like you can connect to, that's going to get to you, and it obviously give you create like a lot more depression than you already have, which will lead to suicidal thoughts and obviously suicide. So I think it is really important to try to connect with other people. Something I need to fucking do too. But I'm such an introvert. Um, so I wanted to say, have you ever, before I end this, have you ever tried to like go to like these like groups and try to connect with people? Like, I don't know if this group is still active on Facebook, but it's like Meebo. There's a Meebo group on Facebook. Maybe you could connect with them. See if you can find somebody that's within your city.
Um, yeah, I'm open to it. Um, but I never heard of any groups like where people meet up, except for that one girl that I met. Well, I didn't meet her yet, but I we talked about meeting each other that lives in Kansas, but she's the only one that I talked to about meeting up.
Oh, she's in Canada.
No,
Damn.
Kansas,
Oh, damn. How could that shit?
Kansas.
That's even farther. Damn.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh shit. Well, I do appreciate you, Sam, for coming in, talking to me, or at least sharing with everybody who's going to be able to see it about your experience, and hopefully someone can meet up with you and connect. Because yeah, at least from what I'm hearing, like you having a way harder time than ever I ever had, and hopefully you can pull through and you know overcome this situation.
yeah. Hopefully it all works out. Well, if you want to know if you want to like keep like be updated with me, I'll let you know if I ever got into the apartment on the 14th.
Okay. Yeah, keep me posted. I'll try to contact you later about this. But other than that, this is, well, it's not Friday night. But this is another body odor interview, and we are out of here.
Okay, thank you.